So Russell's asked me to talk about organisation in the van, and I'm going to start up the front. As you know from the walkthrough, lots of cupboards and cubby holes to put everything in, cup holders and the like. We've not actually been away on a trip yet, so not much of this is currently utilised, but I certainly plan to keep documents and stuff up here. Woody's water bottle will probably sit in one of these. The glove box just has some things like a traffic camera in it and some wet wipes. But the only thing I have changed is I've added some of these pouches, and in those we have the pegs for the wind out awning, the locking wheel nut, and a spare key for the water. Just keeping an ease. You can see what they are. They've got labels which do need to be better written, I will say, but that means they're fairly small items we can't really now lose because they're in their own packages. And these at the moment are living in that cupboard there next to a Dayglow jacket. Moving on to the storage in the bench seat, this is more useful than it was in the L Grand, to be fair. L Grand was a fixed base with a rock and roll bed, and while you could have storage because of the rock and roll mechanism and the struts to keep it all together, the space was a little more fiddly to get at. It also meant that if the bed was out, you couldn't get to any of the storage. But this is a sliding base, as you can see, and a completely sealed unit. So I've sort of tried to create designated zones according to what we're packing. In here I've got the collapse watering can sitting in there. We've got a pair of bungee straps because you never know. We've got a collapsible water bucket. A lot of sites will ask you to keep a bucket of water available at all times. And this is Russell's kit of emergency bits and pieces, warning triangles and stuff like that. And he's got the multi-tool in there. So this is kind of driver side stuff, if you will. Put that back. So in the centre section, it does come with its own set of blinds, which is great. But as you can see, they're quite long and bulky. I'm in two minds. I might actually store those behind the bench seat where the chairs are, but at the moment they're fine there. Underneath that is the electric cable. We've got a really long one, so the reel it's on is quite chunky, but this means it's readily available when we get on site. And our coffee machine. Both really like coffee, and at the moment we're finding this the best way to have coffee on site. It's just a gusto machine, but it fits quite snugly in there. Quite happy. Then on this side we've got things to get out once we arrive on site, or handy things to have with us. There's the spare reading light. This plugs into the cigarette lighter type fitting. We have a number of these little bags that I bought off of Amazon, to be frank. They're like cosmetic bags, but I've got one for each kind of kit. So this one's full of USB chargers and cables, you never know. And we also have a fully powered USB hub. In this one I've got all things like hooks, straps, things we might want to hang stuff up in the awning. These are headrest hooks actually, but surprisingly a number of places you can use these. And the rainbow colour thing is a washing line. Then in the last pack I've got lights, so that includes a USB torch, multi-way torch. This is a really nice one actually. It turns into 3 different kinds, so you can have it as a reading light, just a little lantern, or it's a really powerful little torch. That's particularly handy for when we walk Woody at night. You can see miles down the road. Pull cord light for hanging the awning. And that is a little pack away air pump, just in case, USB powered. And then these are just some touch lights. Most of these, to be frank, we were using in the old camper, but I've packed them because you never know. And they all run off off a remote control. And what else have we got in here? So I've also packed our bigger Ridge Monkey in here because it's quite a big one and doesn't really fit in the kitchen cupboards and leave you room for much else. We do use it, but we have a different solution for this van. So I've packed it because we'll probably use the other stuff, but handy to have it with us. And then we have our tiny pack-away outside seats. They pack really small, as you can see. Now we do have seats that came with the van, but they're quite big, bulky ones. So that's going to be a trial and error to see which ones we prefer to take with us. But even anyway, these pack into rucksacks really well. They're really light to carry, and they're good for if you're just doing a little hike or a day trip. So here we are in the back of the van or kitchen area. I've got the roof up, so I've got some headroom. This cupboard currently doesn't have anything in it. But what we're thinking is this is probably going to be for food storage and stuff when we go away. And we've just tucked the awning winder behind the umbrella there. It's fairly secure. We've driven around lots with it and it's not been a problem at all. Into the kitchen area, I've got a little washing up bowl ready. Storage basket, set of 3, and only one really fits into this section here, but that's absolutely fine. This is the section I'm going to use for condiments and things that might spill or make a mess, and I didn't want it to affect the worktop underneath. So storage basket can be easily lifted out, washed down, and everything put back. But at the moment all we've got is some glasses and washing up ready to go. And then moving on down. Okay, obviously cutlery drawer for the cutlery, handy bits and pieces, random screwdriver, and 2 bottle openers. We also have in here my clip-on handles for what I'm going to show you in a minute that's in the kitchen cupboard. In the wardrobe, as I say, we're not actually packed to go anywhere at the moment, so randomly it's just got a sim mattress. But when we do go away, my idea is that we get a shelf each plus room for Woody's stuff. Don't tend to pack or overpack, should I say, and all the shoes will live in the bottom here. What we do have handy here, but I think I'm going to end up velcroing these to the door itself, is the fire extinguisher, and he's put a wound up radio in here as well, and the first aid kit. So I think I'm going to end up velcroing these to the door so they're more readily available, but at the moment they're just tucked away in there. Nothing in the toilet cupboard at the moment, or what can be used as a toilet cupboard. The portaloo we have doesn't fit. It's about 1 inch or around too big, which is slightly annoying. And to be fair, we've been going away for a year and haven't used it yet, so we'll see. But yeah, if we do get one that fits in here, obviously that will live in here. If we don't, another handy storage cupboard for things maybe like Woody's stuff instead of in the wardrobe, or additional food, who knows. Moving on through, obviously this is where the chairs currently live. You get these 2 chairs with the van. They're quite big and bulky because they are, you know, full-size camping chairs. Again, this is going to be a trial and error thing. While we have the space, we'll bring them with us because they're really nice chairs. But as you can see, they take up that shelf. Now, also quite good because once we're on site, we'll take these out. And you do need to keep this area available just in case you need to get the gas bottles or things like that. But it might be we want to use this for things like storage the bedding. I'm going to have to play with that once we get to the point where we're packing for a trip. Okay, kitchen cupboard number 1. It's quite tall and thin, this one. But as you can see, I've got my kitchen multi-tool, if you will. It's got a juicer and strainer and graters all in one thing, funnel. As you can see, it's a wine bottle size. That does give us a good indication of the wine bottles we can fit in there. And next to that, tucked away, is something we had in the old van that was given to us. It's a collapsible washing bowl, but it's also a chopping board. This is particularly good for taking stuff to and from any washing facilities on site. So even though I've got a washing bowl in the sink now, this is really handy, again, for chopping, or if you take your washing to an on-site facility. In this cupboard, we're not supposed to store much because you need to keep this available for utilities, and of course this is back of the compressor for the fridge and stuff like that, so you need to keep it clear. However, there is a bit of space down on the floor here. What I'm probably going to do is take one of those spare storage baskets and keep the shower bits in here. As you can see, there's 2 or 3 little bits that you kind of need to keep handy and in one place. So I think what I'll do is I'll put one of those storage boxes that I showed you before in here. Then it can just be lifted out all in one go if needed. Also, because they're plastic and they're draining, we can keep it nice and clean. And then lastly, the kitchen utensils cupboard. Okay, so what you'll see in here is my little dustpan and brush. Really handy little pocket-sized dustpan and brush. Use this all the time. A couple of pot holders just for keeping your hands safe. Right, the handles for the Ridge Monkey. And then our new purchases. Oh, sorry, sandwich toaster, Ridge Monkey. Love this. And then our new purchase, which this was a recommendation from Ford Nugget Adventures. We saw it, we bought it. It's GSI Outdoors Bugaboo. We'll send you put the link in the description to the video. But this thing's genius, and it all packs together nicely into this. What can double up as a washing basket itself, washing bowl rather itself. But it's 3 saucepans basically, 4 cups, 4 bowls, 4 plates, and it has clip-on handles. Now, and it comes with 1, but there's 3 saucepans and I have 2 hob rings. So I bought an additional handle so I can have handles on 2 hobs on 2 saucepans at the same time. And that fits really nicely, as you see back there. Then the Ridge Monkey go on top, handles, and this may always well move around when we get to pack to go on a trip, but for now that's all fine. And then down the bottom here, a bit of a mismatch at the moment. Something I may need to reorganise, but it is holding all the pods for our coffee machine, some table mats, because why wouldn't you, and then spare storage boxes. These I bought and used a lot in the old van. Not sure what I'm going to use them for in this one, but when we get food and stuff in, no doubt these will come fully into play. But at the moment, with no trips planned, they can sit in here waiting to be filled. So that's it. That's the van packed with, oh, helps if you put things back properly. Packed, let's say the essentials, but obviously no food, no clothes, and no awning. So we do have a All Pro air strut awning that will fit to the other awning rail on the van. If we need to take that away, my plan is that it will sit back here in the back of the kitchen, which it will do quite nicely. That keeps the cabin free and means we can get around the bench seats, get in and out of the van without it being in the way. The other alternative is it sits in front of the bench seat, because there's plenty of room on the floor. There's only Woody, and Woody's sitting on the floor at the front of the van. So that's an alternative, but otherwise my plan is it will sit back here. Loads of room for that. And that's it really for the moment. I'll do another one of these once we've actually packed for a trip.